As you know, Dr. LePage, before we, right at the beginning of the workshop, I do a little bit of an introduction. I poll the audience. And one of the questions I ask them is, are you separated yet? Meaning, you know, are you living under separate roofs?
Right.
And about half the hands go up, which by default means half of these folks aren't separated yet.
Right.
And then we find out that a number of those people are just gathering information. They haven't made any decisions yet.
Sure.
And I sit there and tell them, I said, listen, Second Saturday isn't about go get divorced.
Right.
You know, I tell them, you know, when you leave here today, hopefully you gain some information where you go out to your car and you say, okay, I know what I have to do next. And if it means I'm going to go home and work on my marriage some more,
Right.
that's a good thing.
Absolutely.
So if a person is sitting there with that mindset, what are the 2 or 3 things that they can do in order to do just that?
To go home and work on the
Yeah.
marriage. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a great question, and it's interesting you say that. We have on our website, several different pages about different topics. One about divorce, but one about marriage therapy. So the
Okay.
page about divorce starts out at the top by saying, if you're not certain yet, visit the page on marriage therapy.
Oh, okay.
Right? Because there are some people that visit that page, like visit your workshop, who are not certain yet.
Right.
If you are certain, okay, here are some ways that we can help you. But if you're not certain, it's worth really thinking about, is the marriage salvageable? Can you save it? Because people have put a lot of emotion into their marriage. I mean, they're very connected to their
Sure.
marriages in a lot of
Yeah.
ways, even when things go poorly. Obviously, my profession, I'm a big fan of marriage therapy, right? And that just comes from years of seeing people really turn it around. I've had people come in the door who have said they've been unhappy for decades, but never been in marriage therapy, and then been
Wow.
able to turn it around. But it's not predictable. I've also had people come in who've been married for 3 years and just decide not to stay married, right? So it's not predictable. I don't think people can say, well, we've been unhappy for a long time. The question really is, what steps have you taken before to work on resolving that unhappiness
Right.
and making yourselves, getting yourselves to a better place?
Right.
And so that's a question I sort of tell people to ask themselves. What has really actively been done? And that person who leaves the seminar saying, well, maybe I want to work on my marriage, I think you go home and say to your partner, I want to work on this marriage. You know, so one, you verbalize it out loud and you say, I would like our marriage to get better. I'm committed to this. And number 2, you start doing stuff. So oftentimes, even people who want their marriage to change, they are so stuck in old habits and old routines that it's very hard for them to initiate change. Or we get stuck in what I call sort of the playground mentality of, well, I'm not going to go first. If they don't go first, I'm not going to go. But that exists in our mind.
Sure.
It's like, why should I try if he's not trying, right? And so what I tell people is, you just have to decide for some period of time that you're going to be your best self, that you're going to try, regardless if the other person tries. Because if things haven't been good for a while, maybe they're not going to trust that change in the beginning, and you're going to have to maintain some things. The last thing I'll say to that, along those lines of saying maintain change yourself, is start asking yourself the question, what can I do to make this marriage better? And the reason that's so key is that most people come into marriage therapy with a list of things that the other person is doing that are driving them crazy. And that may be very valid. Those may be things that other person needs to change. But ultimately, we only have control of ourselves. So you can't go home thinking, well, I'm just going to tell him or her all the stuff they need to change, and then if they change, we'll stay married. Really, you have to walk into it open to hearing what things they would like you to be doing differently, and you even doing a little self-analysis of ways that you could be a better spouse. I mean, we can always up our game every day, even those of us who aren't thinking about getting divorced, right? So I say that people really start to get better when each person is focusing on themselves and being the best spouse that they can be.